I fell in love with Vang Vieng within 5 minutes after I got here. This is northern Laos, or Laos as many English speakers say. It's easy on the soul.
This rickety bridge over the Nam Song is off limits to cars, obviously, but as you can see, there are motorcycles and bicycles, and many have come here like I have. This beautiful river with the karsts behind it and with the longboats spinning to and fro as the sun goes down. For those of you who've never heard of Vang Vieng, it has a rather checkered history as a backpacker's haven, going back to the early 1990s when the Lao Democratic People's Republic opened up the country to tourism. During much of that decade and beyond, this was a wild place. A place lined with beer halls up and down the main street beside the river, where latter-day hippies could get access to just about any kind of drug one wanted. People could rent inner tubes out of the beer halls and go straight into the rapids during the wet season, inebriated or not. In 2011, the government said enough and tightened down what was taking place here, ending an era for one of the world's most infamous little hedonistic Edens. This being a socialist country, the once anything goes tubing business got revamped in a typically socialist way, I would say. Locals have organized themselves into a cooperative in which about 1,500 participating families are divided into 10 village units. Each unit takes its turn on a 10-day rotation to rent inner tubes to tourists. It's a market morning here in Vang Vieng. Not just any market, these are obviously people, most all of them women, and it appears that they've come from surrounding villages and the rural area with their produce. A bit of everything here.
Bắt tôn khoản lên mà bắt bên cái chuan lên mà trong nào xưa là liền.
I'm back on the rickety bridge, only this time on a scooter to explore the countryside.
It's an electric scooter, quite cool to glide around in silence and not add much to the carbon footprint.
In the countryside, when you cross the river, you're surrounded by banana plantations and lovely old homes, which, if you lived here, strikes me as a great way to live.
I've stopped in a small village. I have no idea what it's called, or at least how to pronounce it. But it's a charming place, and maybe you can hear the school children playing on the schoolyard. People here keep pleasant grassy backyards. They obviously get plenty of rain in season. You can tell by the lushness of things, and also just by the vegetation, the banana plantations, papaya trees, mangoes, the usual assortment of tropical fruit. Such a peaceful place. I'm just passing again the school near where I left my scooter. Give you a glimpse of it. It looks to be about a 6-room schoolhouse. It's obviously an elementary school, and judging from the few children I can see, they vary in age, so that I would take a wild guess and say those are maybe 1st to 4th graders, maybe even 1st to 6th graders. In a village at the foot of these beautiful karsts, these rock-faced mountains. There's one other thing I want to show you as long as I'm off the bike. And that's a tree that I've been seeing that is just gorgeous. Just sprays of flowers in clusters on the limb. And then they fall individually to the ground, as you see here. And you see them in this part of the world. They decorate Buddhist altars in yards. I'm walking along the edge of a banana plantation on a remote road off the highway. Not that the highway isn't so remote itself, but it's paved. So I've gone from the paved road to the sand and rock road. You really feel like you're in a tropical forest. I wish I could say an unspoiled tropical forest, but banana trees give out to an opening, a clearing just behind me. It looks like a whole hilltop has been cleared, and pineapples have been planted. I've come up on a grove of teak trees, at least the remainder of what was once a grove. This is the raised hill. It appears that about 50 of the trees have been left in the corner of it, and the rest of it pineapple.
You need no itinerary cruising around the Laotian countryside. There's no time to fill in places like this. Reflection comes easily.
Well, I know I promised that Vang Vieng would be a quiet place, and it is, except during a wedding party in the street. In some other places in Southeast Asia, things typically do not cool down at night. But here it's different. And it feels great to be walking outdoors in the evening here. Sometimes you find a place you like to eat and you just stick with it, and that's sort of the way it's been here in Vang Vieng. I'm at the Luang Prabang Bakery and Restaurant in Vang Vieng, not Luang Prabang. But that's the name of the restaurant nonetheless. And I've eaten great Lao food here. I've eaten wonderful old-fashioned American-style breakfasts here. Tonight, I thought I would just have chicken cheeseburger along with some French fries and a large Lao beer. It doesn't look like I'm going to be disappointed. So I'm going to dig in. That is such a huge cheeseburger, chicken burger. Almost impossible to get your mouth around, but I did it. It's delicious. This place is a very special place. It's got great food in the evenings, well, at lunch, which I haven't tried. Great breakfasts here. And on one side there's a bar, and on the other side there's this bakery with all sorts of breads and a certain cake that, unless I talk myself out of it, I'm finally going to indulge in. This may or may not have been a mistake. The biggest restaurant slice piece of cake I've seen in my life. So now it's time to, shall we say, eat it. Oh boy. It's rich, it's chocolatey, and it was clearly made on premises. I'm going to enjoy this.
These days, Vang Vieng's biggest challenge may be its success. Hotels and restaurants have proliferated, and even locals fret that something is being lost. So if you plan to come here, my advice is to do it as soon as you can. At least if you want to tell people you remember Vang Vieng as it used to be.